everyone. I'll wait for a few minutes so that some of you can join. And today what I'll be discussing, as you can see, that the essential leadership tricks and tips. So I'll be sharing with you all some tips. What do all these great leaders have? And what are the common characteristics of a leader, and how you can become a leader. And probably by the end of the session, I'll be sharing with you a trick which I have personally applied, and I want you to apply it and see if that works for you or not. So wait till end for me to share the trick with you. It's going to be very beneficial. And as all you know, once I'm done with making you hear all about leadership and the leaders, the floor will be open. You can ask me any questions regarding the topic. So let's see, just wait for a minute or so before we get started. And you'll be finding today some of the very common things which we can use as a leader. And most of us don't regard leaders that as somebody we look up to, yes, but also trying to understand how you can become a leader, right? And when we say some impactful figures, so when you think of really influential figures in the world, I'm talking, so who comes to your mind? So I'll be sharing my personal favorite leaders. I think the foremost is like Winston Churchill, Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, and also Martin Luther King Jr. These are my leaders, and in the current times it's Jeff Bezos, and it's Bill Gates. So we talk a lot about looking at them as a leader. So they are some of my personal favorites. I mean, I read a lot about them and I do get so much inspired by them. So I think let's get started today. So what are we talking today? So first of all, let's try to understand who is a leader. How do you define a leader? A leader is someone who has ability to guide people, inspire people, motivate them, and also in the end he manages all. Right? So in the simple terms, if I have to tell you who is a leader, you could say somebody who has all these traits. A guide someone, of course inspire them, because leader has to inspire them, and then after that leader also has to motivate somebody, right? So you cannot be a leader when you're not motivating people. So a leader possesses all these traits or characteristics, and along with that, what does it have? It manages everything. So a true leader is has all these traits in him or her, correct? So now we'll talk about what are the 5 common characteristics of a leader. So 5 common characteristics of a leader is, first of all, not many people talk about it, is purpose. See, a leader should be somebody who should be able to give you or guide you in the direction of where you are also applying purpose to some kind of work, correct? Whether we talk about it's at work, it's at home, professional, business, a leader does it all, right? So leader has that power, that influence over you, and an importance of feeling something bigger you're doing. So purpose is very important. Not many people talk about as a characteristics of probably a leader, right? So number 1, I would say it's characteristics of a leader is purpose. Number 2, motivation. Of course, a leader has to provide you with so much of motivation so that you're able to finish your task, or you're able to go towards your goal, or you're able to be uplifted while doing something. So leader has to do that. He has to, or she has to have that characteristics in them, right? And what are the motivation they can provide you? So there are, as we all know, there are two types of motivation. So leader knows the balance between these two. So those are intrinsic motivation and the extrinsic. So let's talk about a leader, how he looks at the intrinsic motivation, because some of the people, while they're working in their professional life, they want to have an intrinsic motivation, which is like feeling good about something, correct? What kind of task they are doing, what kind of work they are doing. Now, what is an extrinsic motivation? When leader also has to see somebody probably have a personality trait where they want to be rewarded. You might have seen some people, whether it's your home, whether it's your professional life, your business life, you might have seen somebody who likes to get rewarded. So they are looking for an extrinsic motivation in the form of a prize or something. But on the other hand, there are some people, they are internally motivated. So they don't have that, they do have to get some kind of rewards, but they're not looking forward to it. So a leader is the one who is able to balance these both. Correct? Somebody who has looking forward to an intrinsic motivation, or they are looking forward to an extrinsic motivation. Number 3, what are we talking about? So a leader does have characteristics of vision. Unless a leader has a clear vision to take you all together towards a goal, then that will lack everything. So it is very important for a leader to have a clear vision where they are probably working individually or as a team, they can take you forward towards that goal. All right. Number 4, this is my personal favorite. Actually, as an emotional intelligence coach, I talk so much about this one, and that is empathy. See, leaders will always have empathy. Now, you would ask me, what is an empathy? In this day and age, I think everybody should have an empathy. So empathy is nothing when you are able to put yourself in other person's shoes, or the challenges they are going through, or the situation they are in, or any particular circumstances they are in. So a leader has mastered this skill of putting themselves into other person's shoes or other person's challenges. Now, it's a skill, I'm saying. You can also build upon. I'll be talking a little bit about that a little later. You can also build upon. So a leader has always known that somebody who, when you're in a group, you would find as leader can connect to every person individually, even when they're verbally talking or non-verbally, because they have mastered the skill of understanding everybody and their emotional state. So empathy comes in when the leader is aware, of course, I can understand you. I have put myself in your shoes and see how the situation is. So leader can do that. So empathy is so important if you are trying to become a leader, or you're hoping to basically develop this skill. Number 5, now creativity. Why creativity is so important? Because leaders need to encourage new ideas and concepts. I personally believe if you want to become a leader in your life, you really need to really hone onto the skill, which is you're open to the ideas and you're open to the new concepts. Because if you close down and you don't talk about it, I mean, the ideas won't flow, and you never know, some of the ideas could be a biggest, it could be a winner in some way, right? But we don't talk about it. So creativity is very important. And leaders always encourage people, okay, even the idea is bad or something, but they tell people to bring in more ideas. So a leader should definitely have that characteristics. If you want to become a leader, you should also look into this skill. Now, the next interesting part, what I'll be talking, how you can become a leader if you are thinking about one, or if you feel that you can develop some skills. It's all about skills, how you can influence people, how you can lead people. Now here I also want to tell you something. You might have seen leaders in your own home sometimes. You might have seen probably your parents, your siblings, or someone who has this natural ability to lead people when you're discussing something. So it all starts from the home, and then it goes to the professional life, and then so on and so forth. So leaders are something, they do have a little element of, I would say, my personal opinion, that that natural ability to lead people and to influence people. So, and Other than that, you can definitely develop all these skills I'll be talking about. Okay, so how can you become a leader in very simple terms? And I'll be sharing a trick which you can apply it right away and start to see the difference. Now, number one, listen. So active listening is so important. Now, let me share it with you all. What is the difference between a listening and a hearing? Okay, are you all with me here? I hope you're all here with me. So I'll be discussing the difference between listening to something and hearing something. So when you're hearing something, it's a very physiological kind of a thing, like when you use your ear to hear somebody, right? So you're not paying too much of attention to it, the details of what they're trying to say. It's like hanging out with your friends or somebody. It's like in a casual environment. Whereas if you want to become a leader, you have to listen to a person. And what does that mean? Listening to a person means that your mind and your heart are in sync. So leaders are great listeners. So next time when you're thinking, try to pay attention to what other person is saying and just be in sync with your coherence with your mind and heart, and then you'll be able to really develop this skill and you can become a leader. So don't just hear people, listen to them what they're saying. So I do talk about the verbal and non-verbal communication, which I'll take it some other time. But this is a very important thing. Start listening to people. Be very attentive at the when they're trying to say something to you. Try to center yourself. And how you can center yourself? When you have your mind and your heart in coherence, they're together. Correct? And leaders mastered this skill. All right. So let's talk about what you can do to become a leader. So I talk a lot about growth mindset or a success mindset. So leaders have understood whatever task that they're saying, whatever they're planning to do is with the mindset, right? Mindset is something where you are able to see the opportunities and also where you're able to see that something is not working out for you at the same time. It's a part of the risk management, but we'll talk about it later. So the leaders are clearly able to see both the good and the bad in anything you're doing, if I can just put it into simple terms. Okay, so leaders are very good in managing that, right? And then what is the third thing leaders have mastered? The third thing, if you want to become a leader, you have to master this skill, the fear of failure. So failures have been a part of anything you do in your life. Correct? Whatever you're trying to achieve, but a lot of people always want to think, because they are programmed into mind thinking all the positive things about their trying to achieve in a project, but not thinking about the other negative things which can happen, and they should anticipate it earlier. But leaders have definitely mastered this skill where they know how to really embrace the failures, revise anything what they are doing, and make the things move forward. So they don't just sit back and feel bad about it, or this is not happening. They think, okay, why it's not happening? I'll quickly revise it, and probably any additional steps needs to be taken. They just do it quickly and they move forward. So if you want to become a leader, you have to start doing those skills, or start building up on those skills. Now, fourth is leaders are usually very authentic themselves, and how they can achieve their authenticity by self-awareness. So leaders are very good in that. So what you need to do if you want to become a leader, what you need to understand what self-awareness is, and how you can do that, knowing your personality traits, how you behave, how your emotions are, what are your anxieties are, how you react to a situation. So if you can master this skill of self-awareness, you can definitely become a great leader. I think this is one of the foremost things you should be doing if you want to understand what a leadership is, or you are planning to become a leader. So basically what you need to understand, what is triggering you, why, what are your personality traits. Under personality traits, you should know your strengths and your weaknesses. So if I ask some of you right now, what are your top 3 strengths? Most of you will not be able to tell me right away. You will have to think for 30 seconds or a minute. But a leader doesn't waste, they know their strengths very well as they know their weaknesses. So they work with their strengths and they try to improve on their weaknesses. So this balance, they know how to strike. Now, if you want to become a leader, these are the 2 areas with your personality you should be able to really develop into. Like, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and how I'm moving forward with them in my life. Okay, so leaders are very good with that. Now, the last one which I want to talk about is, I know it's a little out of the league. People don't talk about in the corporate world as leaders, but now they have been addressing this issue, which is a very close to me, and that is gratitude. So, what if you see any good leader? What they one of the ability they have a very good way of thanking people. They probably, I would say, appreciate people. They know how to value people right way. So if you really want to become a leader, try doing it this today. Thanking people all the time. Like if they are doing something for you, or if you want to appreciate them in some way. So gratitude is one of those uplifting emotions which helps you to build your self-esteem. In other words, your confidence. A lot of people shy away giving a lot of compliments. But a good leader, and if you're trying to become one, develop this skill. Say thank you to everybody. It could be anybody. You can start with your family and friends, and then if you're working, you can start in the professional life. They have really mastered this art, appreciating people when it is required. So a good leader always does that. You'll always find them, they love their teams, they love to appreciate people. Like I said earlier, they like to motivate. So these are some of the skills, if you start to develop, you will start to see the differences happening with you. All right, so this was a little out of the league, but gratitude is a very powerful way to become a leader. So you're grateful for what your team is doing for you, you're grateful what your family members are doing for you, you're grateful for what your friends are doing for you, you're grateful to everyone. So that's the way to start with it. So these are the 5 skills I thought, if just simpler ones, you can do it right away if you want to become a leader, and you'll start to see the changes happening. Now, the best part of this life is the trick I was telling you. So I talked about what you can do and how you can prepare yourself for becoming a good leaders in 2024. The trick. Now, this is the trick which you might have seen it with a lot of leaders, but I'll be explaining to you the scientific reason for this trick, and also I will explain to you the ancient understanding of this trick. So are you ready for it? All right. So the trick is bringing your 2 hands together, right? So bringing your thumbs together, all your fingertips, here you can see all the 5 together, and holding them close to your chest. So how many have you seen the leaders while giving big speeches or at seminars, webinars, wherever? You've seen leaders doing this kind of with their hand gestures. Can anybody say they've seen this? Just type in yes if you have seen it somewhere. So you will see a lot of leaders doing this. So I will explain it to you why do they do this. So number 1, this is known as a steeple method. So whenever you are trying to speak to a crowd, or whenever you're trying to basically build your confidence, you can just do this hand gesture. Okay, now you need to always keep it close to your chest. And why do you need to do that? Because when you bring in, now scientific reason behind it, when you bring all your fingertips together, so basically you're trying to balance your left brain side and your right brain side. And how does this steeple method, or I'll explain it to you in Sanskrit, it's known as Hakini Mudra, helps you so much. So what are the benefits of it? So the benefits of it is you are able to connect your thoughts quickly. It helps to build your confidence. You become open to listening to people because now you're connecting both your fingertips and your thumb. And also it helps to become a better listener. So this is what you can start doing it right away, which will help you a lot. Now, I hope you understood the scientific part and benefits of it. Now, what you're not supposed to do with this hand gesture, you're not supposed to cross your fingers, number one. Please pay attention. And you're not supposed to basically rub your hands. So whenever you're immediately trying to gain some kind of confidence, you need to bring them together and put it close to your chest and start speaking. Or while you're sitting in a conference room or anywhere, just do this hand gesture, steeple method or Hakini mudra. So in Sanskrit, it's known as power gesture when you're trying to strengthen your mind. And a lot of leaders, I think you can put it in the images and might have seen, they're always like this while you're giving big speeches or they're talking. So you would find them. So I hope you'll start doing this tips and trick in the end to become a great leader. And you got some clarity about what leaders do in a very simple manner and what you can do to become a great leader. All right. So let's see. Let's take some question. I'll be only taking the questions regarding this topic. Okay. So Pramod Bhai is saying we know what leader is. Great. So you have a different definition of a leader, but as long as you know, that's great. So true. Then Pramod, why guest user says she hit the wall, old and irrelevant. Okay, Pramod is saying the true leader is the one who takes everyone along, walk beside and then not ahead of them. Oh, that's a good point. Of course. Leaders, they work as a team. They're never trying to prove themselves. Like I said, they empathize. They know they're good listeners. So they are not the first one to jump on any conversation, right? So they take time, they collectively collect the data and then they perform anything or they deliver anything. Correct. True leaders are always doing that. Which tube is saying, okay, then thank you so much. Any more questions regarding leadership? Leaders talks about, guest use talks about leader, but no ring. Your old. How to manage a panic situation while interview? Well, this is Hari. I think you're asking me, but this is not the live for that. I'm only talking about the leaders today. All right. Thank you so much for being with me today, and do share or comment something if you would like to know more. And next Friday, I'll be coming up with another topic and I'll be hoping to see you all. Thank you so much.